Welcome to the Geek Easy, fellow geeks. Let's open a beverage of your choice. Today I'm going to do something. Sorry I've been a little late. I haven't posted anything lately. Thursday I went into the ER to a few days of stomach problems and then pains. Wound up having to get checked in and having surgery. So now I'm recovering, giving me a chance to do some reading. So I decided I'm going to be doing a review of the all-new collector's edition of Superman versus Wonder Woman, the battle you never thought you'd see. It is published in, okay, obviously it's a facsimile, came out November 2024. When did it come? Came out in 1977. And, obviously this was, a pre-crisis book. But, I don't know, I hadn't read it up until this point. But I think I saw something on Aaron Lopresti's weekly Sunday show where he was doing the art. He was showing cover art by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez, and this was one of the books, and they discussed it, and I'm like, hey, I have that, so I'm going to review it. And there's a lot more to this book than just the battle, and let's see, let me give you, beforehand, we have Jerry Conway writing it. Jose Luis Garcia Lopez and Dan Adkins are the artists. Gaspar Saldino is the letterer. Jerry S-E-R-P-E Serpe is the colorist. And Joe Orlando is the editor. Okay. So, this is set in 1942. Okay, it starts off December 10th, 1942, just a little bit after the Battle of Midway. You have, it starts out with Superman. This is actually a memo from Frank Knox, Secretary of the Navy. They're just beginning to reorganize their forces after the Battle of Midway when Clark Kent and Lois Lane show up to do it, show up to do interviews with people about the Battle of Midway, and this attack shows up, so Superman fights it. And he realizes that there's something up, that the planes are not flown by Zeros. The Zeros are not flown by the kamikazes, they're actually remote controlled, which was really kind of advanced back then. And being controlled by a sub, and he captures it and takes a prisoner and takes it to the admiral in charge of the thing. And actually, this was actually Chester Nimitz. He says that they were. It's a joint German and Japanese plot to disrupt something called the Manhattan Project. And so Nimitz is like, okay, here. He doesn't really tell him anything about it, but he sends him back to Washington. And he gets, he's going to be, talked to by the Secretary of War, which is not exists anymore. That is now called the Secretary of Defense. Okay. Then we cut to Wonder Woman. She is in D.C. and she sees some guy getting attacked. She fights them off. There are a bunch of Nazis. She does the old Superman thing here and throws the car against the actual Nazis. And he follows him to Grand Central Station for some reason. And it's weird. So she shows up as Yeoman, Diana Prince, just like they have from the old Linda Carter WonderWoman series, where she's Steve Trevor's Yeoman. And the person attacking, she saves this guy from being attacked, and it turns out that it's Albert Einstein. And she knows that there's something up. And so she does some snooping and then finds out about something that says Project Manhattan, the Manhattan Project. So they're both, Wonder Woman and Superman are both looking into the Manhattan Project, which is obviously super secret back then. And we learned of a Japanese-German plot to, they get them together, they find out where the parts are, and Superman's going to stop it. Superman wants to try and guard the stuff and things like that. Wonder Woman she finds out that there's something going on. She goes and steals a bunch of stuff. And she goes to Paradise Island where Queen Hippolyta talks to her because she wants to stop. She figures out what the Manhattan Project is, and she wants to, stop them from building a bomb because, man is a bunch of violent people. Men are really violent. They're not sophisticated and loving and caring like all the women on Paradise Island are, right? So she goes to her mom and says, hey, how do you think I should stop this? Being this peace-loving, happiness, women power thing like we do. Her suggestion attacking Chicago, and just, she's attacking the city to try and steal it and really. So bust a bunch of shit up is what they're doing. And Superman's just like, no, bad girl, you can't do this shit, because, no. And it's funny, because she hits him, knocks him with this lamppost, and here he goes, I don't believe it. Wonder Woman hit me. She actually hit me. Even if she is a woman, no one treats me that way. And I mean, no one. And he just, pow, hits her. Yeah, there you go. Beat her up there, Superman. So they actually just start fighting. It's just like, yeah, no. And they go over that, then they stop because they're beating up on they're destroying the city, and they're like, no, wait, we can't do that. So you think, okay, it's over at this point because, you know how it is on these superhero fights, other superhero things. It's only a misunderstanding that they fight. Then they start, fighting. They stop fighting and start working together on something. So I'm like, okay, that was pretty short. Then they're like, nope. We have to settle our differences, but we got to do it somewhere else. Says, No, I'm proposing we settle our disagreement the only way possible, since our ideas are so totally opposed. Because she wants to. They've got two completely different ways. A trial by combat somewhere that no one can be harmed but you and me. So they decide on the moon. Which, okay, now this is just super funny. Okay, this is back in pre-crisis where Superman can fly in space without having to breathe. But here is Superwoman's invisible plane, which she's able to fly in space, right? And she is using those little science fiction bubble things that supposedly allows her to breathe, right? They have like these subdermal communicators, but the rest of her is exposed, and so she'd freeze to death. But whatever. Now, if Superman is this pissed off at this point, this fight should have been over like that. You know why? You just go real fast and you go boop, break the glass, she's out, done. But they don't have it that way. But they just they just start fighting. But then there's the rest of the stuff going on with the Japanese and the Japanese samurai who's doing stuff, and Captain Blitzkrieg. Was it Captain Blitzkrieg? Anyway, doing the thing, and they steal the stuff, and now Superman and Wonder Woman have to try and work together to get the stuff back after they get done fighting on the moon. But this was a fun story. You've got you got the Superman fighting the Nazis. You've got Wonder Woman fighting samurai and all this, and then at the end they do work it out, and those two little things get destroyed. But they go to the next morning. This is from '77. It's going on 40 years. I don't think we need to worry about spoilers right now, right? At this point, if you don't want to hear about spoilers, I mean, we already know, they weren't going to get this stuff anyway. But this last page, the morning after they go to the White House and they talk, and Superman says, I brought Wonder Woman here to meet you because I want her to have your personal assurance that the United States will never use an atomic weapon as an actual weapon of war. And of course, the president's just like, yeah, matter of conscience, yeah. I'm not gonna drop the. This is I know as well as me, man. These pressures that sometimes drive a leader to acts of desperation, acts which under the other circumstances might be considered immoral. I promise you one thing: as long as I'm president, I will never drop the bomb or use the bomb to kill. Never. But that is FDR. And this is in like 42. FDR didn't drop the bomb. But he did also end the war. He died. And it was Truman who took over, and Truman dropped the bomb. But this is, not trying to do anything political here. But, so he did actually keep his promise. But to review this, this is just a brief summary. And I like the big size because, one, you get to be my age, get old. It's kind of hard to read stuff even with the glasses. And two, we do things big here in Alaska, so get the big thing. The Baron Blitzkrieg. The art in here by Jose Luis Garcia Lopez is very good. I guess there's also Dan Adkins. Sorry, I can't forget to include him. Done very well. Yeah. If you look at the art pieces, the drawings in here, it is just, except for maybe that face right there, that's just kind of, but that's £1. It has really good art in here. Jerry Conway did a very good job at keeping the plot moving along, you know, making it seem, make everything make sense to the form, you know, one step leads to another, there aren't any logical jumps and all that, and they keep it, from my, you know, what I not remember of history, but what I know of history, they keep it very, you know, historically accurate in the sense of, you know, historical events that actually happened as opposed to Superman and Wonder Woman fighting on the moon and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun book. If you want to try and get the floppies for it, get it. If you want to get that, get it. I recommend it. Get it in trades or something, you know, and you just want to, you know, you're recovering from surgery or bored one afternoon, give it a read, because it was worth the read and really fun. And I'm glad that I read it. But anyway, let me know what you think of it if you have read it, and let me know if you plan to get it if you don't have it. Anyway, like, subscribe, possibly share, and most of all, enjoy your superheroes beating up on each other.